Reading Part 1 to 1. Do you like reading? Answer. Of course, yes, I'm a bibliophile. Books, in my perspective, are a pretty effective way to relax and learn something new. 2. Do you read electronic book? Answer. Undoubtedly yes. Because of their ubiquity, electronic books are a big weakness of mine. I frequently download my favorite novels and copy them to my smartphones or iPads, and while I'm on the bus or other public locations, I will pull my high-tech gadgets out and start to read directly on my phone. 3. What kind of books do you like to read? Answer. The more literary the novel is, the more I like it. This includes writers such as Virginia Woolf, Jane Austen, and Haruki Murakami. Kafka on the Shore is my new favorite book. 4. What was your favorite book as a child? Answer. I loved the novel, My Sister's Keeper, when I was a kid. Two sisters, one of whom required a kidney transplant, were the central theme. She saved her sister's life by giving a kidney to her, despite her initial reluctance to do so. 5. Have you lent books to others? Answer. Sometimes I find myself thinking. My friends and I all like reading, so we've discussed the idea of setting up a book swap. Therefore, in order to have comic books to read in my leisure time, I often give out my books, most of which are written in English. 6. Have you borrowed books from others? Answer. As I've said before, many of my closest friends are avid readers. And thus, whether I have a day off or want to catch up on the latest manga gossip, I don't hesitate to borrow some comic books from my friends. 7. Do you read professional books? Answer. Currently, I'm drowning in a sea of work. Unfortunately, I haven't been able to dedicate enough time to reading academic articles on my topic of study, but I was definitely a reader in college and bought a new book every week to expand my knowledge. Introduction. Personally, I am a huge fan of reading books, articles, magazines, and blogs. Reading always excites me from childhood. One day when I was surfing the internet, I came across an informative article, which I am going to talk about now. What was the article, and when and where did you read it? I took a leave from school because I am not feeling well. As I got bored, I just surfed the internet and I found one article, namely, Now or Never. It comes under the health category. So, it is related to my current state of condition. It was written by the famous physician Mr. Singh. So, I clicked on it and read the article. In this article, Mr. Singh talked about the problem of obesity. Currently, people are affected by obesity regardless of age groups. This might have pushed him to write an article about obesity. What you learn from the article. Even me and my friends have this problem. So, it triggered me to read the whole article. The way Mr. Singh wrote the article is brilliant. He presented factual information and shared several examples to emphasize how complicated the problem is. He writes that the fundamental problem of obesity is an inactive lifestyle and poor eating habits. Dr. Singh also provided practical ways to solve this problem. He urged us to walk early in the morning, which not only helps us to beat obesity but also makes us remain active throughout the day. Explain why you think it is a good or bad article. Dr. Singh also suggested cutting down the intake of junk food and replacing it with nutritious and healthy food like fruits and vegetables. I found this article as both informative and helpful, and the approaches that he gave were also practical and reasonable. Conclusion. It pushed me to walk in the early morning for about 15 to 20 minutes. I took some measures to solve the obesity problem of mine. I even shared it to my friends and family members who all have this problem. This article is really helpful and beneficial. Part 3 to 1. If a movie is based on a book, would you prefer to read the book or to watch the film? Why? Answer. I would like to read the book first and then watch the movie. Movies are the imagination of the director and the scriptwriter. But when we read the book, our imagination works that takes us to a whole new world. I like to have that kind of experience, and I feel reading the work of the writer gives the story more impact. 2. How do our reading habits change as we grow up? Why does it happen? Answer. When we grow up, we become mature and start to think about more serious things in life. We become more selective about the things we experience. Small children have kids' books with more pictures and small stories. As adults, we choose novels, philosophies, etc.